What's up, everybody? This is Wayne at Home Repairs and Upgrades with a new video to share with you an easy way to lay down a new bathroom floor with new large formatted tiles on an old cement floor. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, Home Repairs and Upgrades. So this is what the bathroom looked like before it was completely gutted and drywalled. It had carpet on the bottom, and underneath the carpet was small checkered light blue tile. So underneath the tile is the very old concrete floor. So I started out by basically knocking out any notches and bumps that were sticking up in the corner. Keep in mind, you want your floor to be as smooth and as flat as possible for your installed tile to last as long as possible. Now this is the toilet bowl drain flange. The height is around 2¼ inches from the ground to the lip. Just enough clearance for the thin set mortar and the Sludder membrane to fit underneath. So my tile height will meet right at the lip of the flange. As you'll see later on in the video, I start tiling around the flange first so I can use it as a height guide for the rest of the floor. Doing it this way ensures a smooth installation of the toilet bowl that will be level with the tile. Then I swept the floor of any concrete chips that came up before I tried out the membrane. Now this is the Sludder, a uncoupling membrane designed for stone insulations. Serves as an uncoupling layer, waterproofing membrane, and vapor management layer that helps the floor last longer. As I rolled it out, it's very easy to handle. It's a plastic-like material. So I cut it to fit with a box cutter and some scissors. Once I got the membrane flat on the floor, I cut a circle in it and fit it over the toilet bowl flange. Even the small pieces were easy to cut. They fit right in and laid down perfectly. Now once I did the cut of the membrane to fit the entire floor, I pulled it up and did a dry run fitting for the tiles. So I carefully laid them out to exactly how I wanted them to look when installing them. Once they were laid out, I took a picture and then sanded the floor to make sure I didn't miss any indentations or bumps in the concrete. Then I did a quick sweep of the floor. Then I set up my perimeter with some foam insulation tape because I knew that would be easy to come up once the thin set hardened. The reason you set up a perimeter is to ensure a consistent bonding of the thin set along the perimeter of the floor. Then I started to get my non-modified thin set mortar ready. The instructions are on the bag. They can vary depending on the brand that you use. Just make sure it's non-modified. So I blended the mix in 5-minute intervals until you get a thick peanut butter type consistency, as you can see. Now the next thing you want to do before you lay your thin set is make sure the floor is damp, the whole floor. You want to damp it with a rough sponge, get all the corners, everything, because now this will make sure for a proper bonding of the thin set to the concrete. Then I protected the toilet bowl drain flange and started to spread the thin set mortar across the cement floor. You want to spread it as evenly as possible across the whole floor throughout the corners. Now you want to just try to keep the thin set level from the bottom of the floor. Once you're done with that, since you already have your pre-cut Sludder membrane, you could just lay the membrane on top, spread it out evenly, and walk on it and squeeze down any excess. If any excess should come up in the corners of the perimeter, just wipe it up and continue pressing it down till the membrane is even across the whole floor, and allow 24 hours for it to dry. Then I laid out the tile again and marked them so I know where I have to make some cuts for the corners of the room. Be sure when you make your cuts, you have your goggles on or your face is covered, as the tile is hard and chips can fly off the dining tip wheel edge. Now after you've pulled up the perimeter off the bottom of the floor, now you want to completely waterproof the floor with something called Curdy band over the perimeter seams. You want to lay down a strip of mortar, then lay down a strip of the waterproofing, and then lay down another strip of mortar on top of the waterproofing to seal it. Allow it to dry for 24 hours, then come back and you can start the tiling. Then I begin to lay down the mortar and tiles. As I said earlier in the video, I would start at the toilet bowl flange to use it as a height guide for the rest of the floor. Using a 1/4-inch trowel, I put my first couple tiles in and made sure I packed enough mortar for the edge of the tile to meet the lip of the flange. So I know my toilet bowl, first and foremost, will fit level on the floor. Then, as I branch off from the first tile, I'm using these yellow leveling pegs with 2 on each side of a tile. They have notches in them to ensure the connecting tiles sit at the same level. Just make sure the pegs are all on the same notch when you slide them in the clips. And make sure you butter the back of your tile before you set them down to ensure enough height, level, and grip of the mortar. I made sure with each tile I laid down a nice thick stack of mortar so it would reach the height of the previous tile that I already laid. I just repeated these steps with each tile. Since they were large formatted tiles, the process was fairly simple and not as tedious as small tiles can be. And as I said previously in the video, you want to make a blueprint of how your tile will be laid out, from the first one down and where it goes to the last one and where it goes. This way you won't find yourself stepping over or hopping over tile that you just laid and hasn't dried with the mortar yet. And you want to make sure you put a groove with the trowel in the mortar with the back of the tile fully buttered to ensure a complete bond with the tile to the cement floor and mortar. Then you want to allow the tile to set for at least 24 hours. Come in, remove all the leveling clips. You can kick them out or pull them out with a channel lock. Wipe down any excess mortar and wipe down the tiles and prepare for the grout. Now, the grouting is the last part of sealing the tile to the floor. First, you want to decide what color you'll like to go with, because grout does come in various colors. For this floor, I'm going to use white grout. I got it Lowe's. It's Mape brand, Ultra Color. You start by making sure the floor is clean of all debris, and start by spreading the grout on liberally. Allow it to fill all the spaces between the tiles. Pack it in there using a plastic spackle by squeezing grout in between the lines and scraping the excess off the top until all the lines are completely filled. Then, as the grout starts to harden, get a damp sponge and again wipe any excess off the top of the tiles. The whole process takes around 15-20 minutes. I repeated this process and then wiped the floor clean. I allowed the floor to dry for 24 hours. Then I installed the toilet bowl to make sure everything was level. I was pleased the way it came out. It was exactly the kind of upgrade I was looking for. Large formatted tiles to open up a small space. I hope this video helped you. If you liked it, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Home repairs and upgrades.